The night my overpriced wedding cake tasted like sweet revenge, so here is the thing about childhood best friends. You think you know them, you think you share this unspoken lifelong bond, but let me tell you. Nothing reveals a person's absolute unhinged core quite like them planning a wedding. Seriously, it turns normal humans into absolute monsters. My name is Maya, and this story is about my ex-best friend, Chloe. We had been inseparable since the 3rd grade, so naturally when her boyfriend Brandon finally popped the question, I was ecstatic. Now I am not a professional baker by trade, but it is my absolute passion. I run a pretty successful side hustle from my apartment kitchen making custom luxury pastries. When Chloe got engaged, she immediately came to me, eyes shining. She told me she had this dream of a massive, 4-tier, red velvet wedding cake with intricate gold leaf detailing. She looked at me and said, "Maya, local bakeries are quoting me $1,200 and our budget is so tight. Please tell me you'll help me out." And because I was a loyal, naive friend, I didn't hesitate. I refused to charge her a single dime. I told her it would be my ultimate wedding gift to her, looking back. That was my first mistake. I spent an entire brutal month preparing for this cake. If you've never baked a massive wedding cake in a standard apartment kitchen, let me tell you, it is a nightmare. I had to rearrange my entire life, decline actual paying clients, and take 2 days off from my regular job. I stayed up until sunrise for 3 nights straight, meticulously hand-painting edible gold leaf onto delicate fondant sheets. I poured my absolute soul into that frosting. Then came the Friday before the wedding. The cake was fully assembled and perfectly chilled in my fridge. It looked like a masterpiece. I was literally in the middle of steaming my dress for the rehearsal dinner when my phone buzzed on the counter. It was a text from Chloe, not a phone call, a text. The text read, "Hey girl. I know this is super last minute, and please don't think I don't love you, but Brandon and I had to make some really tough decisions today. The venue coordinator called us and said we are completely over our strict capacity limit. Because of that, we had to make the painful choice to remove you from the guest list. I am so sorry, but hey, since the cake is already done, it would be amazing if you could still drop it off at the venue loading dock tomorrow by noon. Love you still." I just stood there in my kitchen, staring at my phone. She uninvited me to her wedding the day before the event, after I spent a month doing $1,200 worth of grueling, unpaid labor for her. And she still wanted me to act as her free delivery service? The sheer, unadulterated audacity was staggering. I felt this hot wave of anger rise from my chest. My phone buzzed again. It was a message in our mutual friend group chat. One of the other bridesmaids posted a photo of the rehearsal dinner setup. I looked closely at the background. There were rows and rows of empty tables. Capacity limit? It smelled like complete total garbage. I sat down on my kitchen floor, looked at the giant fridge holding her dream cake, and I literally laughed out loud. It was that manic villain origin story kind of laugh. I knew right then and there. I was not going to be a pushover. I texted her back. I kept it cool, calm, and completely professional. I wrote, "I understand your decision, Chloe. However, since the only reason I volunteered my time, skills, and expensive ingredients for free was because I was an invited guest, I will not be dropping off the cake. I hope your day is wonderful." 2 minutes later, my phone started absolutely blowing up. Chloe was calling me repeatedly. Then the texts started rolling in, completely shifting in tone. She wrote, "Are you serious right now? You are going to ruin my wedding over a seating issue? This is incredibly selfish and hateful of you, Maya. Just bring the cake. You already made it anyway. What are you going to do with it?" I didn't reply. I blocked her number. I called my younger brother, Leo. I told him the entire story, my voice shaking with rage. Leo is a college student, and his immediate response was, "Say less. I'm coming over with my roommates." An hour later, Leo and 3 of his massive club wrestling friends showed up at my apartment. We carefully lifted the 4-tier masterpiece out of the fridge and carried it down to the back of my SUV. But we weren't driving to the luxury country club venue. No, we drove 20 minutes down the road to the local city fire station. I walked into the station and spoke to the captain on duty. I told him, "Hi, I have a massive luxury wedding cake in my car that needs a home. Would you guys want it?" The captain looked at me like I was an angel dropped from heaven. Within 5 minutes, we had the cake set up on a massive stainless steel table in the main truck bay. These guys were absolutely thrilled. One of the firefighters literally grabbed a massive spatula and cut a giant wedge out of the top tier. He took a bite and said it was the greatest thing he had ever tasted. I sat there with my brother in a room full of firefighters, eating wedding cake, laughing, and watching them take selfies with this elegant gold leaf masterpiece next to a massive red fire truck. Honestly, it was the best Friday night I had had in months. But the real unhinged drama unfolded 9 months later. I was sitting at a local Starbucks on a Tuesday afternoon when someone called my name. I looked up and it was Megan, Chloe's first cousin. Megan leaned over the table, lowered her voice, and said, "Maya, I just have to tell you, I am so incredibly sorry for how Chloe treated you last year. The whole family knows what she did and it was awful. I shrugged and said, thanks, Megan. She had a capacity limit. It is what it is. Megan literally snorted into her coffee. Wait, she actually told you it was a capacity limit? Oh my God, Maya, no, that is a complete and total lie. The venue was barely half full. My jaw dropped. Then, why did she uninvite me? Megan looked around the Starbucks, making sure no one was listening. Chloe had a complete meltdown about you 3 weeks before the wedding. You know how you lost like 40 pounds last year and started working out heavily? Well, Sarah told Chloe that you had bought this absolutely stunning, form-fitting, emerald green designer dress for the reception. Chloe became completely, obsessively paranoid that you were going to upstage her on her big day. She kept saying that you were flaunting your new body just to make her look bad. She and her mom literally sat down and planned to cut you at the absolute last minute. They waited until the day before because they knew the cake would already be finished. Chloe literally told her mom, Maya is a pushover, she'll still bring the cake because she won't want to ruin my day. They plan to use you for free luxury labor and then lock you out of the party. Hearing those words out loud felt like a physical punch to the gut. They literally planned to use me for free luxury labor and then discard me, but then Megan started laughing. But oh my God, Maya, your revenge was legendary. The reception starts, the dinner finishes, and the DJ announces the cutting of the cake. The spotlights turn onto the custom cake table, and Maya, there is literally nothing there. It is a completely bare table with a white tablecloth and a silver cake knife sitting in the middle of it. Chloe had a literal screaming tantrum in the hallway. Her makeup was running, she was crying, and Brandon was furious because he had no idea she had uninvited you. What did they do for dessert? I asked, completely captivated.